We do have several folks tonight that are going to speak, so we want to be judicious with our time. Miss Bonnie Sachs is here, and it's her delegation, so to speak. So, Miss Bonnie, if you and you guys will come up, I'm going to let Miss Bonnie is no stranger to the Republican Party. Her and her late husband are staples in the Alabama Republican Party, and I'll let her talk. She's running for elector, correct? And her friends are running for Trump delegates to the Republican National Convention. So, Miss Bonnie, take it away.
I want to thank you, Chairman Koch, for doing an amazing job. I know in Winston County we had to do what you did tonight. We had like 84 members. Our executive, we're a large committee. And when they got through going through the books, because you know when you don't come but twice a year, you have to do things. And I think now we're down to like about 42, but we're growing. But I want to thank you for letting me serve as your chairman of District 4. It's an honor to serve for Congressman Arrow. It's an honor. District 4, I've always said, is the premier district. I'm glad to see another of our wonderful chairmen here, Chairman Rushmore in Walker County. But I did lose my husband. He was the, I'm going to take just a second.
Yes, ma'am.
He was the chief of staff for the Republican Party. Many of you may have known Harold Sachs, I don't know, but a lot of you probably did. And he died of COVID in 2020, very suddenly, 71 years old, just so healthy. And was just the face of the Republican Party, you know, for years. And I was just going to get completely out of the political realm, but I had taught school for 25 years and just retired right before he died. And it has been so good for me. So I want to thank you all that vote, that you have continued to vote me in as your chairman, because I do, like tonight, I do get out and go. I do the business of the district. So if I can ever help you or help any of you in any way, please don't hesitate to call. I've got cards I'll hand out tonight if you need them. But I love what I do. I love the Republican Party. And I want to thank all of you that you let me run unopposed. Thank you. In District 4, that made me feel so good for a Trump delegate. So I'm going to be going. I have let the gentleman know, too, there's 4 running, 2 more from our district, 2 or 3 more running, 4 delegates. And I've let them know, you know, your times and your meeting places. So if they wanted to come out and meet with you. But sometimes it's good to see a face. The only thing I'm seeking tonight, I am running for an elector for the Electoral College. I've never run before, and so I thought, well, I'm getting on up there in age. I might as well, if I'm going to do it. So any of you, how many of you are on the state executive committee? I know a lot of you. You are, yes, you are. And I think Ty is. Yeah. Any of you that can vote for me, I appreciate it, because that'll come from the floor that day. So thank you all so much. I'm a total Trump supporter. I won't even start on where our country is today. We're just in a very, very sad, sad place. But I'll let the girls introduce themselves. They're running for, one's in the district, one's at state large. It's confusing, but they kind of understand. So I'll let you girls go ahead. Thank you for them.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for being here. Absolutely.
Good chair.
Good evening. My name is Sherry Hyche. I am a lifelong resident of District 4 and of Winston County. I am running for Trump delegate in District 4, Place 4, or District 4, Place 3. I have 3 gentlemen that are running with me also. So I say I'm not running against anybody, I'm just running with them. So it's always good to run with Republicans, right? I have always been a Trump supporter all my life. I'll tell this quick story. These two have heard this many times, but it's one of my favorite stories because it's how I became a Republican. And you know, if you remember back to the first time you ever became a Republican, what made you, what gave you that passion? I was 17 years old, and I was a senior in high school, and my chairman of my party, this is how important the chairmans are, my chairman of my party came up to my house and knocked on my door, and she said, hey, I need you to come with me on a Saturday morning. And I said, okay. I mean, she was a neighbor. We lived in a small community, so she was one of my neighbors. I said, okay, what are we doing? So she said, just come get in the car. So I went and got in the car. And I said, what are we doing? She just had a back seat full of signs and stuff to hand out. And she said, just put this on, and we're going to go knock on doors and put up signs. And I looked down, and it was a T-shirt that said Reagan Bush 1984. So that was my first experience, and that's what made me have the passion to become a Republican and support the Republican platform. I've never gone away from it. I love our platform. That's why I'm here. To me, Reagan was the best president this country's ever had. You know, all my life, that's what I thought. You'd never meet anybody that could top Reagan. That is until 2016. And I knew that it would take a man that had a lot of strength and wisdom and didn't back down. And that was President Trump. And I feel, I worked for the post office for 34 years. Anybody that's ever worked for the federal government knows what it's like to be under the Hyche Act. You can't really say anything. I got called into HR several times when Facebook come along for my Republican posts that I would put on there. But I've retired, so now my voice is very loud for the Republican Party and for President Trump. And I would just be very honored to go to the RNC, which has always been a bucket list. I never could go, but this is my last chance to vote for what I feel now is the best president we've ever had. And I would be honored if you would, if you know anybody on the SEC or if you're a member of the SEC, May the 4th, I will see you there, and I hope to get your vote. Thank y'all for letting me speak.
Well, I'm Cindy Myrex, and I don't have quite the story that Sherry does. I will say this. I will say that President Trump aligns with so much of my spiritual beliefs, because he is so, our Republican Party is so different than the left right now. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I've met President Trump twice. I went to Montgomery in the summer, is it the summer dinner, fall dinner, and got to meet him there, and it was such an honor. But let me just share with you, when I met him, I just had a just overwhelming feeling of this man is here to do, there's a scripture that says, I was born for such a time as this, and I truly believe that he is here at this moment, because if he don't even win president, he has revealed, the hate toward him has revealed so much evil. And if you've not seen anything else, you have to see the evil that has been exposed because of his campaign. So I say that, but when he came down the escalator, I am a businesswoman. I'm a realtor on Smith Lake, and I was a stay-at-home wife and mom for 18 years, and then I became a realtor and a school bus driver. I wore a lot of hats. So when I hear him speak to America, he speaks to me and most of the people I know. And a lot of people think he's an elitist. He's somebody that's entitled. I don't think he's entitled. I think he's kind of like eat what you kill kind of guy. I think that, and that's the way I believe. That's the way I was raised to believe. I was raised in convenience stores and potato fields and, learn to work hard. And I think that's his expectation of his constituents and us as United States citizens. So that's why I admire him. He puts it back on you. This boy, howdy, I could say some language right now on the student loan debt and the things that they're making us pay. It's really makes me mad. He's going to fight for that. So here's where I am, and me running for statewide, place 14, Trump delegate, is I want to be there. And I mean, not just there, not just at the Republican convention, but every day for the 208 or 10 days it is until that election, I want to work daily to help him win. But I want to be there that day and cast my vote as a delegate for him, for the state of Alabama. So all of y'all, if you will just, think about it, take me into consideration on May 4th. If you're a SEC member, I would certainly appreciate your vote. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies. And Miss Bonnie, just explain, I will do a very poor job, but each congressional district has, kind of explain just quickly how that works as far as delegates to the Republican National Convention.
Okay, we have 7 congressional districts, and each district, like Congressman Adderhope has 14 counties, and each district has a chair. And so what we do is we elect 3 delegates and 3 alternates on May the 5th in our district. Only the 84 members vote for me because I'm running in the district, and for Sherry, and some others, Brad and the other guys. So we'll elect 3 members, or 3 delegates in the district, and we'll elect 3 alternates in the district. And then when we finish, we go out into the main meeting, and there will be what they call at-large delegates, and that's what cities running for. And what they'll do, they'll elect, I think it's 25 or 24, I don't have the number right in my head, but I know it's 21 from each district, from the districts, and then it's, I want to say 25. And they'll elect one from each, like she's running against 2 other people. So she's in like place
14.
statewide, place 14, there's 3 people, only one from that place will go. So that's just how it works. So, and then they'll elect, they'll get the delegates that way and the alternates.
Thank you. I just
Does that
thought,
make any sense?
it did. I thought it'd be a good opportunity to explain. 'Cause
Okay. Yeah.
I know a little, and
Yeah.
y'all, everyone else may know all about it, but I
No, it
so.
took a long time for me to.
Thank you. There was a gentleman about in 2020 or 2016 that ran as a Trump delegate named Bradley Cox. Exact same name, exact same spelling. And my mother called me. She went to the post. Are you running as a Trump delegate? And I said, no, ma'am. She said, well, Bradley Cox is on here. So I said, no, ma'am. And I got like I think 108 or 109 calls that day. Some friends in Pickens County called and said, man, whole family voted for you this morning. I said, didn't vote for me. So there's another one of me out there. So nonetheless, elected official reports quickly. Commissioner Hughes, you have anything? Probate judge, Freeman, nothing. Any other elected officials besides me? I don't have anything either. All right, to the grand finale here. I called Dorman, and Dorman Grace is our guest speaker tonight, chairman of the Walker County Republican Party. Dorman has been a friend of mine for a long time. I didn't know he was chairman, but I know he knows what's going on in Walker County, so I called him the other day, and I said, man, I'd like to get the chairman of the Walker County Party to come and speak to our group. And he said, well, that guy, he's no count. And I said, oh gosh. I said, well, who is it? Just so I know, not to me. So it's me, Brad. It's me. I'm the chairman. So Dorman and I have been friends for a long time. When I worked with Farmers Federation, we kind of met and become friends, have a lot of the same kind of network of friends and family. And Dorman has been a close friend. He and Miss Susan and his 2 sons and I went to Auburn together, so I know the whole Grace clan. And I know Dorman does a great job as chairman over in Walker County. And I asked Dorman to come tonight to just kind of let us know what they're doing in Walker County and how we can emulate some of those things here and just talk a little bit about politics in his neck of the woods. So without further ado, Chairman of Walker County, Mr. Dorman Grace.
Thank you, Brad. And I'm not going to tell you everything I know about Brad. Just keep that. He's not going to tell everything about me. But it's a pleasure to be here. And I just kind of got this job last January, a year ago. So I had a lot of learning to do. I was vice chairman for several years, and Linda Inger decided to give it up because of her health and stepped in. So a lot of things we're trying to do, but thought I'd give you a little background who I am and where I came from. And ladies, y'all ladies, my mama was raised where the dam is because they came across the water on Walker County side and sharecropped that land before they built that dam when she was a teenager. And she never let us forget it as kids growing up. Y'all will not swim in that thing. It's so deep that if y'all drown,
Yes.
you'll never find you.
Yes, yes.
So my brothers did sneak me off up there when we went swimming some because they were 8 and 9 years older than I am. But I farm for a living. My 2 sons are back at the farm with us. They both have full-time jobs and all that stuff. But I was not a Republican when I was at Auburn. Walker County was all Democrat. You could count Republicans on one hand, maybe 2. And you knew who they were, but it didn't make a difference. Well, at Auburn, I met this pretty little young blonde lady. And we started dating and all that stuff. And this is the last Democrat I voted for was Jimmy Carter. And she had Reagan hung on her in her room at her home. Yes. So we got kind of serious and all that stuff. And she transferred to UAB. I'd already came back to the farm. That was in '78. She was. Y'all might not care about this, but I think it's interesting. And she was 18, I'm 22, and I thought, she's really pretty. I think I'm going to keep her. And I tried my hardest to keep her. And so I went back to the farm. She transferred to UAB and went into nursing and graduated nursing school there. And she did marry me. And when she got to Walker County, she went to vote. And one of the members of our church, where we attended, She said, wanted a Republican ballot. He said, you don't want a Republican ballot. And I thought, Lord, she'll kill him. She said, I want a Republican ballot. He said, well, there's nobody on there to vote for. She said, give me the Republican ballot. And I thought she's going to lose her Christianity there. So
Yes.
I didn't want to be beat up, so I became a Republican really quick. And the first experience I had in our local party started, and I don't know if y'all remember, as a stupid person ran for Commissioner of Agriculture from Walker County, and that was me. In 2010, I went up against the big Republicans in Montgomery and learned my lesson, but I almost got there. It was close, about 11,000 votes statewide. So the thing that I did get out of that was a viral video. Folks, they'll get to bragging about something. I said, you got a viral video? And they'll say, no. I said, I do. They said, you do not. And I show it to them. It's Bill Peterson doing his thing about how stealing yard signs in the middle of the night and bringing illegals across the border and all that stuff. And I said, that's you he's talking about. I said, told you. Now give me my money. You bet.
There you go.
So that's my family keeps watching that thing, so that I don't get in politics anymore. So that's quite interesting. But been around a little bit, politics, didn't plan on being a politician or anything like that, but have enjoyed being it. So starting last January, becoming the new chairman, we wanted to grow the party. And I didn't know how to do it. We had kind of stayed stagnant. Linda did a great job. Anything I say, it's not against Linda. But we weren't bringing any new members in. And the goal that I set before the executive committee is I wanted 500 members. I said, we need to get to 500, which I knew that was way a big shot. So, but we started. And what we did is started having quarterly meetings with, not executive committee, but having speakers come in. And we were running around probably 40 members in the county, 30 or 40, something like that. And we would get speakers, and our first one we had and publicized it. We got Facebook up going, things like that, to get the message out. People can pay attention to it. And the first meeting we had 70-something people there to come listen to our local politicians, and Greg Reed, and Matt Woods, our new representative, and then we had some state folks coming in. We did that twice, but we have a river. I don't know if y'all know much about Walker County. The Warrior River kind of divides us a little bit. You got Summit and Dora on the other side of that river, and they don't come across the water very much, and none of them were participating in our Republican Party. So we went to them, and we had a meeting there in Summerton at a little civic center they have there, and we had 80 people to show up for that meeting. And so those kind of things are the goals we set, and hopefully that's going to continue for us to grow, but we got to get out and get to the people. And the paperwork is what I learned the most, is the hardest of this, especially in an election. I was wide open on that one, and if it hadn't been for the probate judge and our other judges and folks helping me out to get that done. And I don't think y'all have constables in Fayette County, do you?
No, sir.
We have constables. We have 52 beats, if I remember correctly. We don't have that many constables running, but we have several. And I learned a lot about the papers that had to be filed with ethics and Secretary of State. And every time somebody filled out their sheet of paper, made sure, in so many days you got to file with the Secretary of State, and you got the Ethics Commission. Well, a few weeks after that, I got an email that states that you've got 9 people that haven't complied with ethics, and boy, was I in trouble. It was my fault. I thought, you're running for office, and you want to be in office, and you were told And so I had a lot of difficult conversations with those folks. They said, well, you should have trained us. Well, you're running for office, you want to be in office, you need to know to fill out the paperwork. I can't take the test for you. You could have cheated off of somebody else, but and that was one of the most difficult things I went through, is doing that and trying to explain to those people that we have rules we have to go by, and those rules have to be followed. And if you don't, you're in non-compliance. And it wasn't just the constables that did that. We had a couple that were running for commissioner that did that also. So that was quite an ordeal, and finally my hair wasn't that white, I don't think, for all that, but it has turned a little more whiter, I believe. But the other things that we have goals is, y'all have Bevel State here. We have Bevel State in Jasper. It's starting the Young Republican Party. We haven't had one in years. We haven't got that cranked up yet, but that's a goal of mine to get that started. And just a lot of different things, and I got to look at my notes now, making sure I'm covering everything I want to cover. And another thing is getting good qualified candidates that want to run. That is the thing. Some of the folks just want to run, but they might not be qualified. And how do we identify those and get them out to be candidates? And we're working on that. Like I said, we have 3 meetings a year, and we have a runoff for our chairman of our county commission. And that has gotten kind of nasty, and hopefully that'll be over in a few weeks, and we can settle back down and get some things. That's the thing that I dislike the most about politics, is how nasty it gets. And it's not, that's in every county, I think.
It is.
I guess it's here too, but I wish we could follow the Bible a little bit more, especially the ones that say, hey, I'm a Christian and I'm running. Well, I don't think that's what Jesus would do. Maybe I'd stepped off, I don't know. We're a Christian party, and I like to mention that. And identifying those good candidates is kind of hard, is finding them. We got a good one in Matt Woods now that ran, and he's doing a good job. I consider him good. He's trying hard and got some good places to work in down there. And if y'all ever want to come to any of our meetings, you're welcome to come. And the thing that that kind of covers what we're doing, but how do we get back to those basics that my community that I was raised on, even though it was the Democrat Party was doing it, those meetings at the schools where the candidates would come and there'd be crowds there. It wasn't just a handful of people everywhere to see who the candidates were and be able to support them. And I haven't forgotten that. And I haven't forgotten about those men that raised me in my community that thought. I tell my little Sunday school boys all the time, I said, I remember those men. They were rough and tough, and they didn't put up with much. And when they said it, that's the way it was supposed to be, and that's the way it was. And I think we've gotten so weak. We have forgotten what those men did in the wars prior to us, and even the Vietnam War. Those men that stood up and fought the battles for us. And we have kind of forgotten that. And that's the only thing I can do as a chairman and as a Republican is to stand up, speak my mind and my peace of mind, and tell them what needs to be done and quit fiddling around, as my daddy would say, and get to work. And that's the thing I want to happen with our party. We get out and get to work, get more people involved. We've got 65, 66,000 people in Walker County. In this last election, we had 12,000 to vote. Wow. Where are you? Why aren't you not there? And then when they drive, I said, did you vote? No. How do we get the message? You know, Trump, we'll probably have a record number with Trump this Hopefully we'll have that going on. And but that, I don't want to forget what has happened in the past to get us where we are now, and look at what the country, the way it is. I've never in my life, even I lived through Carter administration, and he liked to put me out of business. And as a young 22-year-old with high interest rates, I didn't read that loan very well. It said fluctuate, and it fluctuated 13%. It's hard to pay that growing chickens. Joe had all the money in the world. He didn't have to worry about it back then. But those kind of things I don't forget, and that's the reason I want to be active, involved, and I want other people out there active and involved. And I know, Jed, some of y'all might have heard me read this, but I'll read it wherever I go, where I got a group to listen to it. And y'all know what Victory Mail is? From World War II. That's what it looks like. They would make a copy of the letter that the soldier wrote, and then put it down to that size. And then if they had anything there where they were, they would redact it, mark it out. But this is written by my Uncle Euclid, who was 18 years old. He dropped out of high school his senior year, Walker High School, in 1943. His big brother, my dad, was already drafted. He wanted to go to war. So he joined up. He was in LeMay, France, and he was writing this letter. It's on August 25th, 1944. And he's writing to my Uncle Bill Grace, who was living on the same land where I live today in farming. He says, "Hello, pal, just a few lines to say hello. I'm still okay. How's every little thing with you? How's your crops looking by now? This makes 6 letters I've written up on the lines today. A few bullets over my head every now and then to make me write faster. I got paid today, first time I ever knew it to happen on the front lines. I drew $32.30 for the month of July. I'm going to send $35 home when I can. Bill, you write me when you can. Remember, I can't write anytime I take a notion. I do good to write once a week. We'll have better clothes for this time. Love, Brother Euclid." Why was he excited about that $35? He knew his daddy needed to put the crop in the ground. He never had $35. I've heard enough stories about my grandparents to know. But $32.30, and the very next day, he was killed, 18 years old. So if he was in there for $32.30 a month from December to August, you can say how little he gave his life for it. And that's the message I like to carry to the party. Those folks, I don't want to forget them, because I would not be standing here, and I wouldn't be free. They would have been here. And till we realize what this country is to us and to our party, and if we don't grow our party, we're going to have bigger battles to fight. And y'all know it just as well as I do. It's crazy. I've never seen the craziness. But we're going to try to grow our party in Walker County, do the best we can. And I hope it helped a little bit. Don't know. But I appreciate the invite anyway. Did I use proper grammar? Because when I get home, Susan's going to say, "Did you say ain't?" So she kept me straight pretty much.
Thanks, Warren. Thank you, Dorman, for coming tonight, and more so than that, thank you for your friendship. Just quickly before we adjourn, I do want to let you know about some of our next guest speakers. Next month will be Chairman John Wall, State Chairman. For the month of June, I have Brian Harden. He's going to do a little different take. He's in the lobbying business, and I asked him to come, and we throw eggs and tomatoes at him or whatever, but he's going to come and speak. Representative Brignac is going to come in July and give a legislative update. I want to give him plenty of time to get through session and maybe have a few weeks off. Representative Matt Woods will be here in August, Dorman. Spoke with him. Our September meeting will have Justice Greg Cook on the Alabama Supreme Court. October, Senator Greg Reed, which as you all know is our senator for this district. In November, I've got the Lamar County Chairman, Will Gilmer, coming to speak. I don't have anybody for December, so if you've got anybody in mind, let me know, and we'll try to get that slot filled. But I wanted to get ahead of that, and I think I have. So